Hello YouTube, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going? So I thought maybe I'd make a few more videos again tonight, but I'm not necessarily trying to see how many I can make, although tonight's, gosh, I just had a busy week and tried to make maybe a few more, a few of them longer, a few of them shorter tonight. So for this video, I'm going to focus on a little bit different subject, and it has a little bit more to do with some of my previous work history when I was younger. And I'm going to try to zero in on, you might sound like you might think inventing, sort of thing. Well, it's far more than that. Of course, I wouldn't just be venting all the unfair things about whatever previous work, but I'm really kind of going to drive at the folks that are more similar to myself that might be watching this, that they themselves are in their late teens or 20s or 30s or 40s for some people that are still trying to find something to do more with their lives. Anyway, so I think I'm going to cover both retail and unskilled labor, anything prior to getting into music a bit more. Cover both those guys in this video. So I'm not going to list necessarily all the companies I've worked for, but I've worked in lumber warehouses. I worked in a glass or window and door factory, my dad's company. If you guys have any questions on the specifics, I can answer them in the comments below. So again, lumber warehouses and window door plant. I've worked in a shipping facility, just trucks coming in and out, shipping stuff to the port and other places. I've worked I worked at Nintendo, their packing plant, their kind of the plant in Redmond. So a lot of just boxes of I don't know what was in them. Unskilled labor. Gosh, I've been a paper boy. Worked at a Boy Scout camp. I was a janitor twice. One time at an amusement park. Second time, just something part-time. It was a bit more rigorous kind of job. Not very fun at all. Took a lot of energy. And on top of all those kinds of miscellaneous jobs I had when I was younger, I've also been, I had a few college jobs, well, just computer lab monitor, and that was really easy. really easy. It was, anyway. So, anyway. And then I've had retail jobs, courtesy clerk or beggar, helper clerk, stocker type thing, stock the pop and chips and stuff. And also worked in music sales for a bit, music store as sales associate. I might have missed a few companies. I just had a bunch. This is all when I was younger. I have taught privately now for a while, so all this was quite some time ago. And basically, so I'm looking at music here on out, just music. If there's anything else, it would be very temporary, or I wouldn't. But I've been through some crud, and it's not important to mention any companies or any individuals. It's not anything I want to do. But I've been through some crud, and I mentioned in one of my videos a little bit of something along the lines of of that subject, I think in a grocery store video. So in this video, I want to get a little bit more into just what to watch out for these kinds of jobs. For anybody who's in this thing where they're for a while, who knows how long they're going to be working any kind of job that's more disagreeable in retail or unskilled labor or something along those lines, or janitorial work, or whatever. By the way, being a custodian isn't so bad if you're paid more. There's some jobs where if you get paid a lot more, hey, sure, you get more time to do your job. I don't know, but so anyway. So with unskilled labor, I quickly found that the stronger you are, and the more in shape you are, and the thicker skinned you are, and the ability to handle just quick, snappy directions, and also the ability to handle your bosses being some of the most unpleasant people you'll ever meet, and all those kinds of things. The better able you are to handle that, and also be in really good physical condition, the better you'll do at that job for the long run. Yeah. When you get older, up to a certain point, you get stronger. Sure, you can grow and get strong. You get just your physical strength and upper body as you work on it. But you might, unless you're working out a lot, you might not be in as great shape cardio-wise. So the younger guys are skinnier. Some of them, some of them are stronger. But the younger guys are often kind of skinnier, and there's also all kinds of other factors going there, and but some of them might be huge, really muscular. The older guys might be a little stronger sometimes, middle-aged guys, but maybe they're not as in great of shape cardio-wise unless they're running all the time. So what I found, I'm trying to make this video too long, but basically what I found is that, again, you have to be the thicker skinned you are, and the better able you are to manage just following directions, even if someone's really grumpy, the more you'll want to stick with the job for a while, if it's working out okay. But I've had some very unpleasant jobs. I mean, one of these jobs, I had to keep looking for things to do the entire time I was working, if there wasn't anything I had to do. And I had to keep going. I had to keep being physically active. I had to keep either cleaning or, generally cleaning, unless there's something I had to, bring in. And that was not fun. There might have been long periods where there's nothing to do, but if you sat around, you were fired. And some people would probably just want to get fired because the job stunk so bad. And it was an industrial area. It was just everything about the job stunk. Just stunk. Another time I've had an old Marine drill sergeant yell at me like I was in the Marines. And it really shook me up. So I know what it's like to be screamed at by someone who is a Marine drill sergeant without me being in the Marines. And let me tell you, it really shook me up. So I don't think I was never cut out to be in the Marines, and that's okay. That's just the way I am. But I know a little bit of what those guys must go through, and it's crazy being in the Marines. It's crazy. You have to be really thick-skinned. Really thick-skinned. You can probably get used to it, but I know it would change me. I don't know if it would be for the better. So I'm kind of glad I didn't go into the armed forces, although I respect the people in the armed forces immensely. Perhaps the Army would have worked out a little better for me. I worry about the very sensitive guys, going into the armed forces. It's not really, it just all depends, but war is not a place for your artsy types at all. And, but, in the case of a world war, everybody's drafted, so what can you do? Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, so and I've just there's some jobs where I've been completely beat after coming home just drenched in sweat, and I was actually in decent shape, okay shape, Um, so that's with unskilled labor. Um, I had one gender job that was very kind of cushy, another one that was a little less so, kind of, but um, janitorial work isn't quite as it's nothing not quite as rigorous as factory work. Factory work is really not fun, and I certainly don't envy anyone at Amazon at all. Uh, I will mention Amazon because it's pretty much a company that needs to mend its ways, in my opinion, at least in some areas of the world. If they haven't done so, they need to do that already. So, anyway, with retail, well, what can I say? If you're a clerk, gosh, your job is really brainless. It's not brainless. It's mindless. It can be. It can be nice that way. You don't have to, you can just kind of go through the motions, and eventually you're done. Being a clerk can be a nice thing, especially if it's part time. It's not too bad. You get to interact with customers. Hey, it's not too bad. Sometimes some retail work can be actually rather enjoyable. If you really, really, really like what you're selling, and if you really like the store a lot. So, yeah. Certainly, there may be still shops like that. If I really want to do that in the future, which I probably don't, but if I worked in a bookstore, sure, it's a bookstore. I don't know, but anyway. So yeah, I had another job in music sales, and I sold musical instruments as well as sheet music, and all kinds of other stuff. And I was there for a while. It was something where anything that's full time, it really does affect you a lot more, especially if you have a more sensitive type of personality. And let me just say that it's a different world when you're a salesman than if you're a clerk, and there are many instances in life where nobody can tell you what to do. But the forces at work in my life at the time were telling me that this was a good thing to do. And I was doing okay, I thought, so I kept going with it. The thing is that no matter what happens with certain jobs that you don't like, no matter what happens, whether you work at those jobs for a long time and eventually quit, or you're terminated, or you're laid off, or whatever, it's kind of a question of, well, do you feel like you're is the job worth it? Is you're putting in the time, the full time? Is it worth it? In my case, it wasn't really worth it. I mean, I worked really, really hard, and it was extremely not rewarding. I learned a lot of things. I can say I definitely learned a lot of things about the world and about different kinds of people. And I learned a lot of things I didn't learn in college, working in music sales. Much more so than working in a grocery store. Even if you talk to a fair amount of people in a grocery store, the nature of conversations working in a music store goes a lot deeper into what people truly like. Food is great. Music is a much more of a window to someone's soul. I think you might as well be, working almost at a, Christian bookstore or something. If you, Christian, but it's something that's a lot more it's more telling. and someone opens up to you about what they're looking for, and what kinds of music and what instruments they're looking for, and all this stuff, you kind of know them a little bit. So, you put a lot more of yourself into that kind of job, and so, it's my experience. I can mention things like there are many people that think very highly, for instance, of very wealthy businessmen and salesmen and Wall Street brokers. And you can keep going on that train of thought. I want to tell these folks, no matter if they're going to be well off or not, or if they're better at selling or not, or better at making video, closing, right? No matter if they're that inclined to go that direction or not, it's if you're good at that stuff, great. Having more money is great, but it's a job. Does it bring a lot of meaning to life? Many jobs that are business related have more meaning to them, sure, but I don't think, certainly, if you sell cars, or there's a lot of jobs where it's much more about the money. And someone's real hobbies or interests are athletic or something else. It isn't a passion. If someone has a passion for selling stuff, what they mean is they have a passion for a lot of times, okay, they think it's a human social intelligence thing, but a lot of times they just want to make lots of money. They know how to they know how to do that. They know how to sell really, really well. There are a lot of things that make that whole work environment extremely unfair, brutally unfair, unjust. There's so many things about the working world that I still don't agree with, but it is the way it is because of a number of reasons. And so, in a nutshell, unskilled labor is definitely not in any way, shape, or form very fulfilling at a deeper level. It's something, tends to be more rewarding to the military types that are looking for something, maybe while they're trying to become something else, like a working as a firefighter or police officer. Basically, like kind of muscle job or something else. That's unskilled labor, and retail is, again, kind of the go-to job for a lot of people who don't want unskilled labor. They haven't found anything better yet. So, I have not had it has not been fun. Sometimes it's been a little fun, a little bit. Sometimes you have great coworkers. I know this. If there's anything I know for sure, though, is that a lot of people are fired for the wrong reasons. A lot of companies are not very ethical. Doesn't matter how big they are. A lot of managers don't know what they're doing, but they do, but they don't understand who would really be best for certain positions. It's often in a lot of these cases where their job is less desirable. They're just looking to fill positions. It's almost a necessity. And the jobs that are more desirable, they're always the ones. They're going to be more competitive a lot of times, but they're, it's easier to find the right fit. It should be. Is that fair? No. But in the world of retail, in the world of unskilled labor, it's thankless and it's miserable a lot of times. And people working those jobs, including myself in the past, we just try to put on a happy face and get through it as best we could. I've only mentioned one company in this video, and it's one of the biggest companies in the world. And so it's not important to me to mention any company. Of course, in the case of this company, it's been documented already that there are things going on with this company that are not very ethical. So, I've actually mentioned Disney in different light. I was more positive about Disney. I was more positive about Disney. I certainly know there's probably some things about Disney that isn't so great, but look, I had one of my professors that's worked with me past in college. He sounded very critical to me when he said, "You can be finding fault with, whoever." It seemed like it's very, you get. It seemed to him I was more easily upset by a lot of things. Things that go my way, in a sense. And he was right. The thing is that you can become stronger. You can become more resilient. You can learn new things. You can develop new skills. You can become more well-rounded, more employable. You can become more dependable, responsible, all these things. Or not, but you can't change your core character to fit the working world. That if you try doing that, if anyone tries doing that, you're not yourself. You're being someone else. And there should be more jobs still for younger people that are more desirable. I'm not talking about just artsy jobs. I'm talking about any job that they really want in the future. There should be some kind of job that they can have that's going to help them to get that other job they want. And so I feel very strongly about that. And a lot of people don't know the route to get there. And, education should be very much involved with that very task. But for some reason, it isn't. We focus on the 3 R's. And I'm going to mention more things about education in different videos, but we focus on the basics. We don't always help the shyer kids, like teenagers. We don't always help the folks that are going to have a harder time finding out things on their own and going where they want to go on their own. We don't spend. There's not enough attention given to those sorts of folks to help them be where they want to be. And so a lot of these folks end up in these jobs for a long, long time. I care about that, and it really burns me up. It's been a long time since I've been in that work environment, in either unskilled labor or retail. But in both cases, it stinks. And you have some times where it does work out pretty well. And you have to put on a happy face. You have to be positive. And I don't care. I've learned that I don't really care how much some people might be critical of someone's work performance. If the person is working, they're trying to do their best, that's all that can be expected. And so when someone's fired from that kind of job, if that ever happens, it often doesn't really matter that much. It just doesn't. It doesn't. So I hope that this video really hits home for some of you guys. And yeah, nobody should have to rely on a job that is very, it hurts them, especially spiritually. Nobody should ever have a job. I feel like they have to have a job where it takes away from them rather than adding to their character. And again, it's definitely not. It's not an ethical world out there. It's very unfair. It's very unforgiving. But that doesn't mean that we should be that way. It just means that it's not always right with the world, and it's sometimes a good idea. Sometimes it's merited to go against the way things are instead of just going with the flow. Leave me some comments below about this. All right, talk to you guys later.